So welcome in, guys. If you are tuning in, make sure to say hello and hello as we are getting ready to start our sprint race. So the sprint race normally shouldn't really need to pit. I think it's a case of staying on perhaps the medium tyre here, and yeah, unless you end up with damaging whatever, obviously, then there is no need to pit. And what we'll do, guys, since we are waiting, we'll run down last week's results and we'll run down the overall standings. And last week we did have a fairly entertaining race around Hungary, and it was an absolute war of attrition for Harrison, who opted for the two-stop strategy, whereas his championship rival Krabs opted for the one-stop, and it cost him very much so near the end of the race, with Harrison overtaking him with about 5 laps to go. And obviously last week Harrison did win, with Krabs second place, and it was third place for Gamerman Steph, fourth was Sportmad, fifth Light Shock, sixth Twang of Garlic, seventh Stone Shuffle, 8th position went to Deathlink, 9th position went to JJ, and 10th position that belonged to Judgy, with, I believe we got a DNF last week as well. I believe it was Jack Whittle who had a miserable night in Hungary, a couple of spins going in there, and rather unfortunate for Jack Whittle. It's a shame we don't see him here tonight. But the championship standings is Krabs still at the top, leading Harrison by 54 points. Krabs sitting on 252, Harrison on 198, and then Harrison's closely followed by Quick Dead, who's on 178. Gamerman Steph on 130, and then Sportmad, sorry, I was coughing away. Sportmad on 116. So those are the top 5 who are looking most likely for the ASR spots. Obviously, we've got Light Shock and MC Jamie B not too far behind either. Maybe in with a little shout of maybe making that ASR, but they're going to have to really pick up some solid points tonight if that's to come to head. But we do only have 2 races remaining after this one, so obviously running Brazil tonight, and then next week we are off to Azerbaijan. In fact, no, it's in a fortnight, I believe. We are taking a break next week as the real life F1 is on, and it's in Miami, which I think is like a 7:30 race here in the UK, and then followed by the final race in the Netherlands. So let's just sort ourselves out here, guys. We'll get some details. Everyone's starting on the mediums, and I think we are ready to go here, guys. Let's just have a little look. Gap, interval, perfect. Okay, here we go. The Brazilian Grand Prix sprint. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Deathlink's left the session, but it is go. Harrison gets a good start, but Krabs gets a really good start on the inside there, and he's maybe going for the move on the inside. He has a look already. Krabs and Harrison going to each other's throat already, and Harrison stays with the move. There's a bit of contact at the back there. That looks to be like contact between Stone Shuffle and maybe Dixie or Light Shock, but Harrison already on the defensive here, and Krabs on the inside going for it already. And he looks on the inside, but Harrison just squeezes him on the apex, but Harrison maintains that first position, but Krabs isn't letting him go away just yet, as he's on the outside again. And Krabs, desperate to get past this Williams already. 2 of them not even finished the first lap yet. They're going at each other's throat. There's contact. They're banging wheels already. They're picking up where they left off from last week. And Harrison now defending on the inside. Krabs has a look on the inside, and still Harrison does not budge. And what a start from Krabs there, who's desperate to get past the Williams driver there. And he's made it stick. His Gamerman Steph now looking to get involved as well, as Harrison seems to have got a really good run out of that final corner as he comes up to finish his first lap. And Gamerman Steph Oh, and look at Krabs out of nowhere again. And side by side yet again, round the centre S they come. And it's going to be DRS open for Krabs. Harrison's in a lot of trouble here. DRS open for Krabs. What can he do? He's on the inside. Krabs gets past easy as you like. Harrison concedes that. And that is the dream start for Krabs, who's not out of the woods just yet. As Harrison's coming back at him right away. And he's on the outside again, side by side once again. Look at this. Banging wheels again, slight contact. Krabs defends on the inside. Gamerman Steph now pushing that Williams. And Sportmad as well, also in the mix. These guys really close together here up at the top. And Harrison still not willing to let that Racing Bull away just yet, that pink Racing Bull. But Krabs currently in the lead, coming to the end of lap 2. And wow, what a start that was from Krabs, who just gave it absolutely everything on the first lap and now leads the race. But Harrison now with DRS open. Krabs setting the fastest lap so far. Krabs seems to have a lot of really quick down that start finish straight. Harrison with DRS open couldn't even catch him. But Harrison now with DRS again. He is a little bit back here. And nothing's going to come of that, but we're looking at Lightshock, who was looking to make a move on Newton Killer there. Lightshock's fell down the order there. I think he might have lost a couple of positions. Position change, let's have a look at position change. So Lightshock's actually up 3. Oh, he got disqualified, I do apologise. He got disqualified in qualifying. But Sportmad down 2 positions. Quick Dead and MC Jamie B overtaking him at the start. Stone Shuffle down 2 positions. Deathlink at the back there, he's ghosted out. We're going to have to try and get Deathlink in here. And I know we're missing out in the action here, guys. I do apologise, but we need to get the driver back in. I don't even know if I've got Deathlink on my friends list. No, I don't even have him on my friends list. He's a PC player as well. I can't even add him while I'm here. Hopefully it's up. Hopefully his teammate can get him back in. I do apologise if you're watching this, Deathlink. I cannot get you back in. But we're going to hop back to the leaders here, and Krabs maintaining that first position at this moment in time. And it's a 12 lap feature race. We're on lap 4 already. It's a short track. The laps come thick and fast here. And Krabs looks like he's maybe burned a lot of battery power fighting Harrison at the start. And it looks like he's really struggling to get away from the Williams now, as he's fell back to the rest of the grid, and he's only 4 tenths ahead. He's 3.5 tenths ahead of Harrison, but he runs a little bit wide there, Krabs, and Harrison gets a really good run coming at him, coming up the hill and over. And DRS should be open for the Williams driver here, and this could be a chance for Harrison to get back in front. Gamerman Steph also DRS open. Quick Dead DRS open as well. Krabs locks up into the first corner, coming in through the centre S. Still ahead. Harrison not made his move just yet, but he's really close. He's much closer here. DRS now open. Is he going to get his chance? No, not quite yet. He's just biding his time. We're going to hop down the field here, see if there's any other movement. We are having a lot of, look at the debris flying there, coming out of that curb. Oh, the debris coming off the back of Sportmad's car there. As he's looking to keep Newton Killer and Lightshock at bay, who's had a really nice start from starting 11th. He's already up to 8th position, but can be quite tricky to overtake here. And so you'll be happy with that start. Dixie pretty much a non-mover, with gaining a position on Stone Shuffle, then losing the position to Lightshock. But we're going to hop back now and look at this. Look how close Harrison is to Krabs. He's pushing him up the hill. And he's now 1/10, 2 tenths back from the Racing Bull, and this is another chance for Harrison. We're going to hop on board with him here as Krabs goes really defensive, and Harrison's going to have to maybe even look at the outside, and he does. He doesn't have it. He thinks about it. He's getting a wee bit. Oh, the tyres are starting to kind of give him hassle already. He's losing a bit of time here, but now DRS open again. Krabs is holding on here. He's doing really well. that battery blinking away again, but battery saving coming into this section of the track. But Harrison with no luck just yet. Come down the pecking order here. Light Shock's really trying to get past this Aston Martin of Newton Killer, who's very stubborn, and he's desperate to get past Sportmad as well. He is. It's very close here in the top 9, top 10 or so. As we do have Deathlink further down the pecking order, who's not able to get back into the lobby just yet, as he is still ghosted, which I really do apologise for, as we don't have him on the friends list. But here we go again. Krabs still out in the lead. Harrison with DRS again, a bit further back this time. He won't be thinking about a move just yet. Krabs making a really bad habit of locking up the inside left on that corner. Harrison 3/10 back here. He won't think about a move just yet, but the battery will be getting charged in that Williams. And Gamerman Steph also hanging on to these two at the front, who's the battle is just slowly coming to a boil here. As MC Jamie B struggling to maintain his pace and keep with the top 4. And 7/10 back. He is a little bit further back than he was the lap before, but he's gaining some good speed through this section. He must be on like maybe a higher downforce setup, and maybe losing speed on the straights, but he's doing well to stick with these guys at the moment. They're still all fairly close together, to be honest with you. But Stone Shuffle looks like he has fell back a little bit as well. He's fallen off the DRS train, should we say, but he's still on for, well, it's only in the feature race, I believe it is only the top 8 that score points. And Harrison has a look on the inside here, nothing of yet. Krabs locks up yet again. That will not be helping his tyres too much, but he seems to be coping alright for the time being. Harrison 3/10 back again. That's all Krabs has to do, is maintain that 3/10 gap. And there's not much Harrison can really do about it at this moment in time. Again, that must just be a feature of that curve. It seems to be kicking up some amount of debris from the car, but Harrison really pressing the issue here, and we're on lap 8 of 12. And not too much movement in the mid-pack at the moment. They all seem to be just following each other, happy to just maintain position at this moment, and maybe waiting for the chance to open up and just take it. But Harrison really pushing that racing bull up that hill there. Krabs doing an excellent job of maintaining position here, but is Harrison biding his time? As they all go into battery saving mode coming into the first corner, lap 9. Krabs locks up. Harrison looking to make a move here. He's now 2/10 back and DRS open again. He has a little look on his left side, but nothing yet. And these two have just put on an absolutely unbelievable display, and this is only the feature. We've still got the full length feature race to go. No, I say full length, it's half length I should say. Harrison gently encouraging that Williams to stick behind this racing bull, following the car around here in the dirty area is tricky, but he's doing a good job of it so far. But Krabs pulled out a bit of a gap here. Harrison fallen back slightly, but still within DRS ranges. We're going to have a little look at our spectator gap to leader here. So the top 6, top 5, top 8 separated by only 4 seconds, so plenty of racing still to go in the feature. And if it's going to be this close in the feature, then we're on for an absolute screamer. As Harrison now got another chance, 2/10 back. He's not really pushing the issue just yet. I think he had an opportunity to overtake, but he's happy to sit here at the moment. And Gamerman Steph just a spectator at the moment. He's not too keen on upsetting the apple cart here, as these two have been at each other's throat for the majority of the season. But Gamerman Steph also has had his moments as well, a couple of podiums this season. And he's on for another podium here tonight in Brazil. You see Harrison really going aggressive on there, and looks like Krabs has run a little bit wide, and now Harrison, this is his chance here. This is a perfect opportunity for the Williams. This is the closest he's ever been. And he knows it. He's pushing it. Now Harrison, DRS open. Again, he doesn't go for it. Krabs looks like he's really struggling here, and he is, like, it seems the car just seems to be bouncing around, but again, he's driving very well. And he just seems to be using that power when it's most needed, and Harrison doesn't seem to be able to do anything about it. And Krabs running a little bit wide again. It could be these tyres are maybe not going to do the 12 laps in the feature race, and this is good data to take, as you know, if the mediums, how long they're going to be, how long they're going to last in the race. And now on lap 11 or 12. If there's moves to be made, guys, now's the time to do it, because we're now coming up to the final lap. And Harrison again pushing Krabs hard up that hill. Krabs looks like it was struggling on those tyres a little bit. And Harrison just again struggling to stick with that racing bull, but he's maybe looking to make a move here. Krabs goes really defensive there. He makes a last minute nudge to the outside, and Harrison pushed out wide there, and now he's in trouble. Harrison in trouble from Gamerman Steph. Harrison now 4/10 back, and it's looking unlikely that he's going to get the move done. You see a move, Light Shock finally getting past the Aston Martin of Newton Killer. Light Shock gets himself up to 7th position. Going to hop back with the leaders here. And it is Krabs who's maintaining position, but Harrison really on the case now. But I feel like he's maybe left it a little bit too late to get past the racing bull, but we do come up to the final corner. Well, technically not the final corner, but it's the final slow corner, I should say. The rest is just a flat out all the way home, and it looks like Krabs is going to take the victory here, as we see Quick Dead getting past MC Jamie B, and it is Krabs who takes the win. The 200s ahead of TTRE Harrison, and Gamerman Steph picking up the podium in this sprint. And wow, what a display from Krabs there. He drove really well, just using that power when he needed to. He knew he had the legs on Harrison, and he just didn't panic, and he done well from what seemed an ailing car in the last few laps. So there we have it, guys. Krabs picks up the sprint victory, and Harrison second, Gamerman Steph in third, Quick Dead fourth, 5th place belongs to MC Jamie B, 6th place goes to Sportmad, 7th for Light Shock, 8th for Newton Killer, 9th for Dixie, 10th for Stone Shuffle, and Deathlink, who we need to try and get in. How does it not give you an option to invite people in through this? This is crazy. Anyway, I digress. As we're now looking to the next set of, well, the one-shot qualifying, and this is to determine the positions for starting for the feature race. Now the feature race should be about 36 laps, but again, the one-shot qualifying is the method we're going to be using to determine those starting positions. And while these guys are getting ready, we're going to take a quick break, guys. We'll be back very shortly. And we are back, guys, as we're counting down for the one-shot quali for the feature race. And again, it is looking like a fairly nice day out there. Same could be said for Scotland this week. I cannot remember the last time it rained, which is awfully bizarre. But here we go. We're going to actually hop on board with... We'll try and hop on board with Krabs. We'll hop on board with him as he was the race winner last time, but he's had a horrendous start to his qualifying there as he's down in 6th position, but they won't be separated by too much. And Krabs looking, if he can win tonight, it's almost certain that he's won the Division 1 Championship. Let me just confirm that with the numbers. So with 54 points ahead, now 55 points. Yep, Krabs can win the championship tonight, but he's recovered his qualifying unbelievably well as he's now sitting up next to where he should be, and now he's looking awfully tidy in that racing bull, and he's been an absolute monster this season, Krabs. He'll be looking to get the job done tonight and clinch the Division 1 title. As he is coming up to the start finish straight here, and it is looking like Krabs is going to be on pole, Harrison second, Light Shock with an impressive third, and Krabs does cross the line, and it's only by 800ths, and Sportmad was disqualified from the session there. But it is Krabs on pole for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And a quick roundup, guys, you can see, look at the difference in the times there, wow. So Harrison with a 107.9. and then the rest with a 3/4 tenths back. So it is Krabs on pole, followed by Harrison, Gamerman, Steph, Light Shock, Quick Dead, MC, Jamie B, Dixie, Newton Killer, Stone Shuffle, Deathlink, and Sportmad. It did look like Deathlink did get in. I did send him a little Discord message there, and that's good that he's got back in and managed to set a time. So, the championship leader on pole in the Brazilian Grand Prix. 2 races to go after this, but if Krabs wins tonight, or even gets, technically, well, yeah, if he outscores Harrison by a handful of points, he's got the job done. As we are going to have a little look back at the leaderboard here. So Harrison must win tonight, and then hope Krabs has an unusual couple of races in a few weeks' time. But given Krabs' form this season, it's looking rather unlikely. As Krabs has racked up 10 wins this season. In a 6th place, it's his worst finishing position. That was back in not China, it was back in Japan. And a 5th place in Saudi Arabia. We did miss that one, unfortunately. And a 2nd place last week, of course, in Hungary. So guys, for those that are tuned in, predictions, what do we think? What's going to happen tonight? Is Krabs going to win the championship? Will Harrison race him? Will Harrison win? Will Light Shock win? Will Gamerman Steph win? Will Sportmad win? Will Quick Dead win? Will MC Jamie B win? Will Stone Shuffle win? We'll find out in a few minutes. And we're back, guys. Excuse me, voice still isn't up to speed after last week's shouting and screaming session at a friend's wedding. So I do apologise, I am trying my very best. As we're just about to get going here. It's good timing as ever. And off we go with Krabs leading the pack away for the formation lap. And we're going to have a little look at what we need here. So we're going to have a look at tyres. So Light Shock and Newton Killer have both opted for the hard tyre, and the rest of the grid opting for the mediums. And safety cars aren't overly common here. It's not a race that you see them that often. And I think maybe Newton Killer and Light Shock might be aware of that. But as that famous man once said, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. And that Racing Bull livery is very pink. It seems to be that Krabs does like to mix up the liveries every week, which is fun yet frustrating. Sometimes we get them a little bit muddled up, and yeah, but that's fair play to him. It keeps me on my toes, I guess. As we're about to line up here, the Krabs Championship leader with a chance of clinching the title tonight. He's pointing that car straight over to the side where Harrison is. Harrison on the inside. And we're going to get ready here. Just wait on the last stragglers coming in. There we go, Deathlink now eventually coming into his spot as Sportmad also slowly creeping in, making sure he's getting the optimal parking position as we get ready for lights out here. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights and go, and it's off we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Krabs on the defensive immediately. Harrison goes around the outside, and it's a good start from Krabs. Harrison not able to make much of it. Gamer man Steph up down a position. Quick Dead up 2 positions from the start. MC Jamie B up 2 positions also. Up a position, sorry. Light Shock down 2 positions. Those hard tyres really not helping him at the start there. And MC Jamie B already on the inside, and there's contact between him and Steph. Steph just about holds on, and now it's a bit of a car park there. Coming up to start of sector 2, and MC Jamie B and Gamerman Steph really getting a little bit tangled up together there. I don't think there was too much in it, but we do have a yellow flag. And who it's that for? What's happened is Deathlink at the back there, Stone Shuffle maybe involved, but Krabs leads the way. Quick Dead up 2 positions already up with the leaders, and what a start from the Mercedes driver, who's been really impressive anytime he's shown up. He's been one of the most consistent drivers in the grid this season. And wow, what a start from Quick Dead. It looks like Krabs again, same as you were. DRS now enabled. It's a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Deathlink, and Deathlink's retired, so it does look like he's having technical issues, and he's retired in the first lap, and that's a shame. As we look at the possible race strategies, it's looking like a medium to hard, or if you want to stop for the softs you can, but it is looking like a very easy one stop for the drivers tonight. Excuse me. Apologies again, guys. We're looking right away down the grid. It looks like Dixie's got a bit of breathing space behind him. Newton Killer's maybe had issues early on. He's now 1.2 seconds back from Dixie. The two drivers usually joint at the hip. Not as much tonight. A Sportmad looking to make some moves on Newton Killer here. He's having a little look. He's made a late move on the inside there, and he gets on the inside of the Mercedes. He locks up slightly, and maybe a little bit of contact there with the Aston Martin, but both of them still four wheels and rolling. But Sportmad looking to really get on the case of the Aston Martin driver here, Newton Killer. Sportmad is, with no disrespect intended, a little bit out of position compared to the guys in front. And he'll be looking to rectify that pretty quickly as we hop on with Light Shock, who's just behind MC Jamie B's teammate. There's no team orders, I don't think, at the Red Bull garage. I'm sure they'll be conversing in the party chat in regards to positions and pace management. And it is a little bit confusing, as you can see. MC Jimmy B sporting that red, white, I believe it's the Suzuka livery for the Red Bull tonight, whereas Light Shock sporting the traditional Red Bull livery. And through they go, lap 4 already. Sportmad still no such luck yet getting past Newton Killer. It is a tricky place to overtake, but we're going to hop back with the leaders here. Harrison and Krabs really going at it here. Harrison DRS open, but Krabs goes defensive, and it's really nice defensive moves from Krabs here, who just slams the door shut on Harrison. And again, Krabs showing why he's the championship leader and why he's in with a shout of winning the championship tonight. Krabs, the same as it was in the sprint race, he's using that battery, using that pace at the right time to keep that Williams at bay, and it worked out really well for him. He attacked Harrison early in the race, and he managed to stick at first position, and it looks like it's going to be that way again for the Racing Bulls driver, who's looking really quick coming down that straight there. Even with DRS open, Harrison really struggling to catch up there. Krabs still holding firm. It's Harrison now maybe looking to make the move here. He's actually losing time to Krabs on the start-finish straight, Jesus Christ, on the DRS straight. And maybe, there's 36 laps in this race, he's maybe biding his time a little more, Harrison. Hop on board with Quick Dead here, who's got a front row seat, and also keeping Gamerman Steph at bay, as Krabs does run a little bit wide. Harrison looking left, trying to look for any gaps there, but he's now 2/10 back. Quick Dead just maintaining that speed with DRS open, and Harrison looking like he's struggling to even stay with the Racing Bull in a straight line with DRS. Again, no such movement as yet, as Dixie, the VR driver on the case, sporting a very Senna-esque helmet there. Shout out for that one. I love little details like that, and yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll hop with him and check out that little lid he's got on him. That's pretty cool, nice one. Okay, my man Steph. There's not much of a gap really between him and MC Jamie B, who's looking to try and stick with these guys here. As long as he's got DRS, he should be alright. Looks like, with just a quick view on his steering wheel there, it does look like he's got plenty of battery to use, and it's just a case of picking the right moment to use it. We see Dixie running a little bit wide there. and that's going to cost him a little bit of time. He's now out of DRS range, but he still might have passed the line. He did. He did just about pass the DRS line before running wide there. Hasn't made up a whole bunch of time though. There's Lightshock looking to really get that McLaren out his rear view mirrors and stick with these guys up the top. Again, a very difficult place to overtake. The corners are such a way that it's difficult to really get the car in and effectively get the move done without any repercussions for the following corner. It's very lefty-righty, this track, I should say. Very lefty-righty indeed. I'm going to hop back with Harrison if there's going to be any change in what he can do. There's a bit more in the inside as Crab locks up. And Harrison looks like he has got the pace this time. Maybe a change in setup that is allowed in XL sprint weekends. If you run a setup on the sprint race, you can change it for the feature. The Crabs still holding that first place at the moment, doing really well and managing to hold Harrison at bay. It does look like Dixie has recovered back in within DRS and Lightshock, he was just over a second behind coming into sector 1. And now caught back up with the leading group. So we are down to 10 drivers, with Deathlink retiring on lap 1 due to technical issues. And it's still that man Crabs leading the race. And I built a bit of a gap to Harrison here. It's a game of chess on when to use the battery. Had a quick glimpse of the steering wheel of Crabs there. It does look like he's got plenty of battery to use, so looks like he's got plenty of battery to defend against the Williams. These drivers a little bit spread out, still within about 4 or 5 tenths of each other in that mid pack. MC Jamie B looks like he's maybe starting to lose a little bit of time to Gamer Man Steph, who has lost a position at the start there. We'll get rid of that, we don't need that anymore. And a quick recap of the tyres. Only Lightshock and Newton Killer running the hard tyre from the start. No one penalties yet, which is great to see. And we'll go back to that one. That makes everything nice and clear. There we go. Perfect. It looks like Sportman's fell back a fair bit. So MC Jamie B gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is really frustrating for him, and it's a tricky pit entry, as you're coming up that hill so fast. Really tricky to get the car slowed down, because it is a fairly direct line into the pits. But it gets off and running again, but with a 10-second penalty. As he just about avoids a barrier on the pit exit there, and frustrating for MC Jamie B, who's opted to get onto the hard tyre earlier than everyone else. He's the first to pit. Hop back with leaders here. Crabs still managing to hold back Harrison here. Harrison just cannot seem to find a way through at the moment. I wonder if we're going to see anyone else coming in. It looks like Harrison was pitting there. Yes, he is. Harrison pits. Just gets the car slowed down as he slides into the pit entry there, just to get the car under the 37 mile an hour limit, I believe. Not sure if he'll be going onto the hard tyre, which he is. Very smooth stop there from the Williams pit crew there. The really good job there from the Williams guys. As Harrison getting back out and really using every part of the track he can. And look at MC Jamie B on that undercut. That is phenomenal. Look at the time he's got. But Harrison now out alongside him. But MC Jamie B looks like he's got the move done on Harrison, which is an incredible undercut. And MC Jamie B with a mightily impressive outlap there has really gave Harrison something to think about, as the rest of the field is yet to pit. So the undercut looking very strong here. And what does this mean for Crab's Quick Dead Gamerman Steph Light Shock? Well, Light Shock's on the hard tyre, so he'll be loving this. And that undercut's looking to be really strong, and we don't see anybody pit this lap. So we're on lap 12. Hop on board with Crabs here on that. Front left tyre looking a little bit tired. The rear's not looking too chipper either. But we know Crabs proven and hungry that we can definitely run the tyres to the absolute limit without too much of an issue. But Harrison looks like he got the move done. We did miss that, as Harrison gets the move done on MC Jamie B. MC Jamie B obviously with his own race to run, but Harrison is a man on a mission here, as the undercuts looking to be really strong. As we're going to have a look, there's a gap to leader, and we're going to keep a close eye on that to see how that gap comes down on that fresh hard tyre, as he has already taken a couple of tenths out of Crabs' time here. And it's interesting to see, as we're going to hop back with the leaders. Crabs still not opting to pit just yet. Gamerman Steph stays out, Quick Dead and Light Shock stay out. Light Shock obviously going to stay out on the hard tyre, because Gamerman Steph has a huge lock-up coming into turn 1 there. And all the medium runners still running out. Newton Killer on that hard tyre. Harrison's serious statement of intent with the fastest lap. He's now 17.2 seconds behind the leader. And it could be a case of these guys having to pit really soon, as we're going to have a closer look at Crabs' tyres as he's coming down to the slow section of the track. And that front right looking a bit orange peely, but still stays out. Gamerman Steph's tyres also looking pretty poor at the back there as well. Look at the graining on that rear right. Third, fourth and fifth and sixth as well, as Newton Killer starting to come back into the fight, as it does look like, oh, I did think Gamerman Steph was going to box there. He's not, and everyone else behind him is not pit either. So this is a really interesting tactic here from the medium runners left out on track, as none of them have decided to pit just yet. And Harrison, I don't know if he's maybe pitted too early, as we do see Stone Shuffle coming in. He's the next to pit, and no doubt going on to the hard tyre, which he is. That's a lovely stop there as well from the Ferrari mechanics, getting that car back out, and Stone Shuffle is going to have all the space in the world to set some solid laps and put yourself in the mix later in the race. That gap now down to 14 seconds. He's already caught back up to Sportmad, who's really having not a great race tonight. Perhaps doesn't really like this circuit that much, but Sportmad not his usual self tonight. But we're going to come back to Crabs, who's really kind of power sliding coming out of that corner there. And that front right really starting to have a little wobble, but still stays out. We do see Dixie is the next to come in. Again, he'll be coming into the pits for the hard tyre. See him box. And that's a really quick stop as well. I don't even think the lollipop was up Dixie. I don't even think the lollipop was up, it was that quick. He was off like a whippet there. And he's got a bit of free air as well. Welcome to MC Jamie B. That gap to the leader now down to 11 seconds. And does Harrison know something that we don't here? Because was that a very early pit stop for a potential two-stop strategy? Or does he know that the hard tyre can go the distance? We'll hop back to Krabs here. We're going to see him. Oh, he is starting to slide really quite a lot coming into the corner. Not even out it, coming into the corner. He is sliding around a lot. But it does look like he's still... No, he's coming in. Krabs comes in. Oh, look at those tyres. Oh my god. Game of man Steph. Oh no, with a 10-second penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. It is a ruthless pit entry. And in comes Game of man Steph and Krabs. A bit of a delay there it seemed, but no, he's off and away. As out he comes. Still got Game of man Steph for companies. Out comes Krabs, but the question is, where does Krabs come out? He's out in 6th position. Game of man Steph just behind Dixie's teammate just behind him as well, so MC Jamie B and Harrison have got the mega jump on Krabs there, and I'm not sure if that's going to be a two-stop strategy for Harrison and Jamie B, but I suppose time will tell. As we see Light Shock now challenging Quick Dead for the lead, as Quick Dead is one of the last remaining medium runners out, and you can just see how much he's struggling for grip coming out of that corner. And I would like to imagine it would be coming into the pits this lap. Yes, he is. So it is Light Shock who takes the lead. Oh, what's happened there? Oh, there we go. No idea what happened there, guys. Sorry about that, but it is Light Shock who takes the lead, and MC Jamie B just coming round the Senna S. I'm thinking he was going to get out in front of somebody there, but no, I was just too busy looking at Quick Dead's data there. But it is Light Shock in the lead. The two hard runners out in front by a fair margin, but Harrison already 3.5 seconds behind it, and considering he's already pitted, Newton Killer and Light Shock get to pit as well, of course. That is really phenomenal driving from the Williams driver, who's seriously having to get a result tonight to try and keep his championship fight alive. Krabs down in 5th position. MC Jamie B sitting 4th. He does have that 10-second penalty though for speeding in the pit lane. And we'll revert back to intervals here, guys. So like you can see what we're dealing with. So it'll be interesting to see, and Harrison could be doing with some really, he could be doing with some what's the word I'm looking for here? Data. Well, maybe data. We'll use data. Fuck it. Well, he's maybe looking for data, as these tyres have gone 18 laps so far, but it does look like they are starting to go in that Red Bull a little bit. How's Newton Killers? Newton Killers is about the same, so we know the hards can do 18 laps, and Harrison pitted maybe what? Lap 11? Lap 10, 11? Harrison really getting close to Newton Killer. There's really struggling with grip, it seemed there. Maybe Newton Killer had a bit of a blip there in the middle of that corner, and that maybe caught Harrison out by surprise. But Harrison losing a little bit of time behind this Aston Martin on those old hards. And I don't think Newton Killer will fight this too much. It's Harrison right on the back end of that Aston Martin, and Newton Killer not really making it easy for him at all, as he's almost pushing Harrison onto the inside there, almost pushing him into the pit lane, but Harrison does get the move done. And up to 2nd place for the Williams. He's only got himself and Light Shock. Light Shock in front, still leading the race. He's still yet to pit, of course. Harrison already pitted. And Krabs now 2 seconds back from MC Jamie B. And Krabs obviously on those much fresher tyres. We'll check out the tyre data just now, as we see Crabs on the 3 lap old tyres. Gamer and Steph obviously on the same tyre, but unfortunately running into that 10-second penalty. As we say, he's got a 10-second penalty. His teammate Dixie has picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits. And Light Shock on 18 lap old hards, as is Newton Killer, but Light Shock looks like his pace is starting to kind of dwindle a little bit here as Harrison just reeling him in so quickly in that kind of say infield section. I wonder how long these guys can actually stay out in this tyre. As Light Shock kind of pressing on the inside, sticking to the centre of the track, and Harrison gets through without too much of an issue. And the new leader, TTRE Harrison, who's... Oh, I was going to see who the issue was there, but it's just Newton Killer eventually coming into the pits to get those mediums on, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. There's only one man left out on track who has not pitted, and that is Light Shock. But we're now going to hop on with Krabs here as he looks to get in the inside. Oh, there's contact there. Krabs on the inside. MC Jamie B's sent into the barriers. Oh, he manages to keep going, that's good. Krabs well in the inside there. They're going side by side round that corner. Wasn't the greatest idea. It is a tricky little corner because it's got a little double kink to the right. But MC Jamie B, his race goes from bad to worse, obviously, with the drive-through now, and having contact with Krabs there. And that certainly won't help his tyres either. But Light Shock does eventually pit. And that's 20 odd laps those tyres done so. Oh, we're going to see what's going on here. Look, it's all happening as we see Dixie getting past MC Jamie B as well. So MC Jamie B's race just is not getting any better, but he's still fighting this. His DRS is open, and Quick Dead DRS open as well. He's trying to get past the both of them here. It's like the little gift from Mr. Bean as we've got contact there, and that was Dixie, who's looks like he's got a bit of damage to the front wing there. No, he looks alright. It looks like he's maybe been hit as he's coming down to the exit of that corner. It looks like he's spun onto the inside of the corner, which not too sure what happened there, but it is still Quick Dead and Dixie, Quick Dead and MC Jamie B, sorry. They're still pretty much side by side as we see Dixie getting, well, not Dixie, who was that? Was that Dixie? Yes, it was. Going a little bit sideways coming at the exit of that corner. And he's still just about in the mix. Quick Dead looking to get this move done on MC Jamie B, who does go defensive. And Quick Dead round the outside. And Jamie B still poking his nose in, and Quick Dead just about nibbles it off there and takes the tiniest bit of space left, and that's job done for the Mercedes. We hop on with Newton Killer and Sportman here, who are also having a right old scrap. Light Shock on that much fresher medium tyre, is he going right off the track there to get the move done on Newton Killer. That is a ballsy move there from the Englishman. And Newton Killer looking to come back up with an aggressive move on the inside, and it's now side by side with these two. These two obviously the latest, the last guys to pit. And Newton Killer really desperate to get past the Red Bull there, but it's not going to happen. Light Shock says, thank you very much, I shall have that, I'll see you in a little bit. As he now looks to get the move done on Sportmat, who looks like he's not having the best of nights here tonight. And we're going to hop with Dixie, who's also looking to get the move done on MC Jamie B. MC Jamie B does come into the pits. And it looks like he's getting off those hard tyres, which is interesting. He's only just on them. So I wonder what the case is here. Is he going to hop back onto the medium? Or he is also serving that 10-second penalty as well. Now it's not a bad idea, just in case there is a safety car. But we'll go with Sportmad, who's defending against Light Shock there. It looked like maybe Light Shock did get past, but like Sportmad did get the move done once again. And Light Shock looking very racy on those new mediums. So we hop on board with Light Shock, who's really pushing this Ferrari around the infield section. He's not taking any drastic moves just yet. Sportmad is really struggling on the brakes in that corner. He's maybe not got a lot of faith in the car at the moment. It does seems like he's struggling to really trust the Ferrari at the moment. Well, Light Shock well within DRS. He's only 2/10 back, and DRS now open for him. So we'll see what he can do from here. But looks like Sportmad is burning a lot of battery there, coming down that start-finish straight, and manages to stay ahead for the time being. Newton Killer also involved in this party as well. And Sportmad really taking the direct approach through that corner, but Light Shock round the outside with DRS open gets the job done. And Sportmad not too fighty there. And Light Shock making up some solid ground here. Those medium tyres really working their magic. And hop back to, we're going to have a little look at the difference in times here. Krabs was 7.2 seconds back from Harrison. And we're going to actually hop on with Harrison to see how those tyres are looking. Well, it does look like he's taking good care of them, but he is boxing, so it is a two-stop strategy for the Williams. So that's fascinating. I did not imagine a two-stop strategy. Krabs obviously staying out. Harrison going for the two-stopper, which I didn't think was a viable option, I'm not going to lie, but it does look like Harrison on the two-stop. He's coming back out on the... Is that the hards again? Hop back with him. It is the hards. So Harrison back out in the hard tyre. Just nips in front of Light Shock. And just 8/10 behind Dixie, who a couple of laps ago picked up that 3-second penalty with 11 laps to go here. And Harrison in the two-stop strategy. And a really interesting strategy, if I'm honest. And we did see MC Jamie B pit earlier. Also opting for the two-stop strategy as well. And do they know something we don't? Is the gap to leader for Harrison 12.1 seconds from Krabs. And Krabs got a whole load of fresh air here. Harrison having to get past Dixie. He's going to have to work for it. Dixie does give him plenty of space, and Harrison does get past in plenty of time.